Hello, aviation enthusiasts, and welcome back to Histories of Airliners. Have you ever gazed at the night sky and dreamt of getting closer to the stars? Well, what if I told you there's a way to pierce the veil of our atmosphere and peer into the cosmos with unprecedented clarity? The transformation of airplanes into celestial scouts. Scientists have been unlocking the secrets of the universe, one sky-high mission at a time. So buckle up, space explorers, as we take flight and discover the universe from a whole new perspective. Long before the era of sleek spaceships, astronomers dreamt of reaching beyond the distorting effects of Earth's atmosphere. The first glimmers of airborne astronomy emerged in the 1920s, a time of roaring biplanes and daring pilots, such as Army Air Corps officer Albert William Smith, who piloted a Felixstowe F-5L biplane that attempted to capture images of a solar eclipse in September of 1923. Imagine a rickety biplane, barely a step above a glorified kite, soaring towards the path of a solar eclipse. These pioneering flights, though sometimes unsuccessful, captured the spirit of the age, a thirst for knowledge that defied limitations. As technology evolved, so did airborne observatories. Dirigibles, such as the USS Los Angeles, worked to capture images of the January 1925 solar eclipse. The majestic airships of the era offered a more stable platform for telescopes, yet these early attempts were limited by altitude and technical challenges. Still, these early astronomers, braving the open skies with their rudimentary equipment, laid the groundwork for the future. They proved the concept the heavens could be observed from a new vantage point, paving the way for the jet age and the dawn of a truly revolutionary era of astronomical exploration. Whenever an eclipse was scheduled to hit the Earth, many governments sent aircraft into the sky to get above the clouds to take as many photos of this phenomenon as possible. In doing so, learning more about the sun in a few decades than humankind had learned over previous centuries. All manner of aircraft were used, like the Royal Canadian Air Force use of a Spitfire, a Mitchell bomber, and two Avro ensign trainers to photograph the July 9, 1945 eclipse over the northern hemisphere, or the United States Air Force use of two B-29 Superfortress bombers to observe and photograph the 8 May 1948 eclipse over the Aleutian Islands. The attempts, both successful and unsuccessful, to map solar eclipses and other stellar phenomena in the early days of flight are too numerous to recall in this video. Three NKC-135 aircraft, based loosely on the Boeing 707, operated by the Los Alamos National Laboratory and originally configured to take air samples to detect above-ground nuclear explosion testing, were reconfigured each time an eclipse was approaching to not only observe the eclipse itself, but to detect cosmic rays and the effects occurring to the Earth's magnetic field in the ionosphere. This program of testing and observing witnessed at least 6 different eclipses. An NKC-135 can be seen by the general public outside the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio, on display outside of the museum itself. The first Concorde ever built, Model 001, built by Sud Aviación, followed the 1973 total solar eclipse over the Sahara and other parts of Africa, maintaining itself in the totality of the eclipse for a record of 74 minutes, which still stands today, by maintaining Mach 2 speeds and an altitude of 55,000 feet above sea level during the event. Special portholes and windows were cut into the roof of the aircraft so that the onboard astronomers could photograph the event while in progress. This aircraft is now on display at the French Air and Space Museum, along with the Air France-operated Concorde at the Paris Le Bourget Airport. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration became directly involved with the deployment of airborne observatories in 1964 with the purchase of a Convair 990 airliner that was originally slated to go to American Airlines. The first Convair CV-990 in NASA service not only chased eclipses, but was also used to observe the planets in the solar system. It unfortunately was lost with all hands in 1973 due to an air traffic controller's mistake that allowed a U.S. Navy P-3 Orion to crash into it in midair. A second CV-990 was purchased for the same purpose in 1973, and it took up the first aircraft's mantle of airborne telescope. It was lost as well after an aborted takeoff at March Air Force Base in 1985 and a blown tire causing the loss of the entire aircraft in fire. A Learjet 24 was purchased by NASA in 1974 and had a 12-inch telescope attached to a starboard side window for observations. Unlike many previous airborne observatories, this aircraft could also look into space in infrared frequencies, which allowed a better understanding of how gas giants Jupiter and Saturn operate and were formed. Far infrared frequencies could be observed to see distant objects and structures that weren't visible in visible light wavelengths, such as the Orion Nebula and the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Unfortunately, this aircraft service to NASA ended in 2001 when a hard landing at the Southern California Logistics Airport in Victorville, California, caused too much damage to the aircraft to be cost-effectively repaired. The next aircraft purchased by NASA as an airborne observatory is a Lockheed C-141 Starlifter that Lockheed used as a demonstrator to try and sell to freight airliners for the civilian market as the L-300. This aircraft started its life as an observatory in 1974, but was not officially dedicated as an observatory until 1975. Known as the Kuiper Airborne Observatory, this transport aircraft had a 36-inch telescope attached to the interior of its hull with an opening in that hull that could slide away to allow light to hit the telescope's reflector. Like with the Learjet aircraft we spoke about before, the aim of this observatory was in the infrared wavelengths, which, due to water vapor, is easier to spot at altitudes of 41,000 to 45,000 feet above sea level. This airborne observatory was retired in 1995 and is viewable to the general public at Moffett Field, California. The most recent aircraft that has been an airborne observatory had a much different start to its life than the previous NASA-owned aircraft. This airliner was delivered to Pan American Airways in 1977 and was named Clipper Lindbergh in the Pan Am tradition of naming their aircraft. However, financial difficulties hit Pan Am, and this aircraft was sold to United Airlines in 1986, along with a good many other Pan Am 747 SPs and their Pacific Basin routes and destinations. By 1995, the aircraft was seen in Las Vegas in storage, awaiting a new operator. NASA purchased the aircraft to become its new airborne telescope in 1997. After some test flights to ensure the aircraft could handle the weight balance, the adjustments and changes were made to add the 8.2-foot diameter telescope to the rear of the aircraft. The program name for this aircraft was the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, or SOFIA for short. Unlike previous airborne observatories, this one operated in conjunction with the German Aerospace Center, which in German is pronounced Deutsches Zentrum für Luft- und Raumfahrt, which is known as DLR in short. These two agencies operated the aircraft from 2010 to 2023, when it was retired and placed at the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. As a side note, if you want to see a really good and in-depth video of this aircraft, the Damcasters, the Aviation History podcast channel on YouTube, have a great video of not only the aircraft, but the partnership between NASA and DLR as well. There's a link to the specific video in the description. From the open cockpits of biplanes chasing eclipses to the sophisticated cabins of modified jets, airborne observatories have come a long way. These pioneering vessels defying the limitations of ground-based telescopes have peered through the atmosphere, revealing hidden wonders of the cosmos. From NASA's ingenious Galileo aircraft to the powerful Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, each aircraft has been a testament to human ingenuity, pushing the boundaries of scientific exploration. The legacy of these airborne observatories continues to inspire, paving the way for future generations to reach even higher and paint a more complete picture of the universe we inhabit. Check out our links at the end for more aircraft-related videos, and if you wish, you can support us on Patreon or become a member of my YouTube channel by joining this channel's Coach Class membership level. Being either a Patreon or YouTube channel member will allow you the benefits of early viewing of new videos, and you will help get to choose the next video. Patreon and YouTube channel membership allows greater support of this channel that will allow me to make more video-based presentations. Vice picture-based ones. Thank you for all your support.